Hello and welcome to a new episode of the Yarnflakes Podcast. My name is Audrey and this is a knitting, weaving, all the kinds of yarning podcast from the southwest of France. Welcome, I hope you are all doing well. If you notice that my voice sounds weird, that I look weird, that it's normal. I'm a bit sick. I'm waiting on a doctor's appointment, and it's only in a month because, no availability before. I'm okay. I just maybe I'm a little bit in the moon, like we say in French. I want to thank you so much for all the kind feedback that you gave on the previous episode and the new kind of formatting mood of the podcast. It's been a year now that I've been podcasting, and that's quite a lot. And I kind of regret not doing this sooner. And but now I'm happy that I got around to doing it. I don't know what was taking me away from it, but I'm very happy with my decision to make the podcast a little bit more personal and eerie. I don't know, the kind of vibe that I like and that I am, so to say. So yeah, if we could just all pretend that I just started podcasting last week and that this is only the second episode, that would be great. I had a comment once on my first episode saying they couldn't hear me, which is a fact. And I just want to say, don't watch my first episode, that's ridiculous. But yeah, wow, going off topic already. This week I have knitting a finished object, some progress, and I will also have weaving, and I want to make a sort of a review of a knitting magazine and a yarn show as well. You will find timestamps to all those different sections in the description down below, so if you don't feel like watching anything, feel free to jump ahead. There will also be links to everything that I talk about and my social media, etc. I like that makeup. I think it's the one I will do for that wedding I talked to you about. Yeah, this is going to be a random episode. Introducing these new little formatting bits, I was like, oh, I'm going to make it really minimalistic and be clear and go straight to the point. Well, there you go. That's a complete failure. But yeah, I guess that's me. I'm a random person. So this is episode 42, by the way, so that's quite funny. If you don't know what I'm talking about, 42 is the answer to life and question in the universe. Why am I saying this? I should just start. Yeah. I have a finished object, and yes, this is my Susu sweater, a pattern from Oregon that I have been working on since forever, it feels. But yes, let me just get up and show you. Actually getting up on my knees, because that's how we do things. But hey, here it is. So I decided to power through it and get done with it because if you remember last week's episode, this bit here, the neck shaping, was feeling like forever, and I didn't enjoy it that much now that I didn't have the cable repeats to look forward to. English Audrey. And yeah, so this is an oversized funny jumper. Let me just roll around. Yeah, that's the back. I don't know what you can see, but yeah, so it's knit in two pieces. You first do the back and then the front. This is ridiculous. So the front, which has this kind of a bias shaping that makes the middle bit go up. My belly button is here. And the sides drop down. So yeah, you then make a pretty deep V-neck shaping. Pick up the sleeves, knit the sleeves, and then you seam down here. So double moss stitch, sort of a lace rib cable. Yeah, so that's how it is. I'm really happy. I was a bit scared at first because, well, there's only 3 sizes. Whoop. There's only 3 sizes, and a lot of people have done a lot of modification because this was too low, the sides were too low, stuff like that, and I was a bit concerned that it wouldn't fall right on me. I think it does. I need the smaller size, which has like 130 bust circumference, which is about 40 centimeter ease for me. Yes. The only thing is the shoulders fall a bit, but this is because it's a really heavy garment. There's almost 600 grams of DK weight yarn in it. That's the heaviest garment I've ever knit. It feels heavier than my Ginsberg shrug, which is another oversized kind of cable-y thing with bulky yarn, but this feels heavier for some reason. And so let me show you details. The seaming. So like I said, the front bit had that angle thing going down, while the back was straight. And of course, when you seam them, they're not the same length. Just a bit, just a tiny bit. And I've seen people that didn't care about this apparently, and that have the seam that, like, the front is a little bit lower here. I'm losing vocabulary. I can't speak. Yeah, you know, it just is not connected properly. I say properly. That's a different look. It's fine. And they probably avoided the scary moment that I had because I wanted it to match. So I tried to spread the extra fabric of the front evenly so that they would match in the end. But when I finished seaming it, it was all crunched up, you see. There was bits that were puckering because obviously there was some part where there was too much fabric for the front and not enough for the back, and it was making bulges and stuff like that and was looking awful. So I got really scared. I was like, oh no. I've wanted that sweater for a very long time. I really love the look of it, and yeah, it's a lot of work. It's double moss stitch, cables and things. So I got a bit scared. But I knew I could manage it while blocking. So I did just that. I soaked it, and then I stretched the sides like a mad woman so that they will sit flat. The result is that I think that the difference between the top and the back, like, I have a pretty low difference. Like the front belly button and the back goes way past my butt. So that's a big difference. I took pictures of it over a dress. So I'll insert it here, and you can really see how the curve is massive. And I think it's more than on all the other projects I've seen. So yeah, I don't mind it though. It's not too much. The back just, yeah, it covers my butt, which, you know, is cool. It's it's an interesting shape, and I think it looks really nice over a dress, and even with a shirt and jeans like this. I kind of like it like that. It's a bit more casual than my artsy photo shoot that I did for Instagram and Ravelry. But yeah, I like it. What else can I say about it? I think I've talked about it a lot while I was making it, so maybe that's why nothing else is coming to me. I really like like I said the last time, the cables are half twisted stitches, so it makes them a little bit plump, but still defined. Yeah. The yarn I used is Drops Lima in the beige colorway, which works lovely. It has a really good stitch definition, it's drapey enough. You know, I really like it for this type of garments. And yes, I still have only one, I think. I think I only have one sweater's quantity left of Drops Lima for a striped sweater, a marinière. And we might see that one day. But yeah, I have quite a lot of leftovers though from a grey sweater, so maybe I'll have to do something with that, maybe color work. It feels like I'm rushing through it and I'm forgetting to say a lot of things, but yeah. Susu, Naragone, cabley loveliness. Yeah, it looks cool. Yeah, it's not as hard to wear as I thought it would. You know, I decided I would put it over a shirt for the podcast to see, and I didn't have to struggle with it. I think it's good. I mean, this is a pink shirt, and it works. So, if it works with the pink shirt, it's fine. It will work with anything. But yes. I know Danny from the Little Bobbins podcast made it too, and she had quite some issues figuring out what clothes to put underneath because of the V shaping. Basically, well, you need a certain type of neckline under it so that it doesn't look weird. I've tried so with the dress, who has a slightly, well, it's a round neckline that goes about here, and with this shirt that's obviously open, I think that's fine. I think I have, like, most of my clothes will look okay with it. So, layering options. The next thing I want to talk about, I'm actually just going to show you a little sneak peek because it's a new design that I plan to release next week. I think it will be ready. And yeah, I finished it yesterday and it's blocked and it just needs some steaming. It's a cowl, a lightweight cowl, using sport or fingering weight. I think it will work fine with both. You just need to adjust like the length of it. And it's a really drapey one, and it has a geometric texture like this on most of it, and then it ends with this simple kind of broken stockinette vibe thing. So yes, this is all I'm showing you because I will talk about it at length next week when the pattern will be ready. The pattern is ready, just need to take pictures, and I don't know how or with what kind of outfit to do this. I'll figure out something. I really like it. I had this in my mind for a long time now, and this texture, I mean, and I submitted it to a publication, and it wasn't selected, which is fine. You know, I'm going to keep submitting until it becomes statistically impossible that not one of them is at least published. But hey, I got really inspired by that submission call, and it just clicked in my mind. And that just makes me so happy, because whether or not my design is actually selected for the publication, which must be a really hard process to make something cohesive. You know, I'm a little bit all over the place. I love a lot of different things. So I think if I was in that position of a publisher and I had to select different patterns, it would be completely ridiculous. Like, none of it would make sense. You know, when you look at the pom-pom issues that are all color coordinated and fitting so well together, I don't know how they do that. I would have like things all over the place. But yeah, what I meant to say is that I got really inspired by the submission call, and I really like that process because it triggers something in me. And so whether or not my design is actually accepted, of course it makes me a bit sad. Nobody likes me. I've been podcasting for a year and no one likes me. That's not true. I don't know what I'm saying. But, you know, yeah, even if my design isn't accepted, I'm so happy with what I did and what I found, and it just created something. And so just as happy self-publishing it, especially because I get to keep the name I wanted and make it all like I figure out all the things so that it matches my intentions. And yeah, there is a little, a really good name, I think, for it that my boyfriend and I came up with, and I really like it. So yeah, I will tell you all about this in the next episode. But yes, a cowl. There's another design that I submitted to another publication, and I think you will see it soon too, because I didn't get an answer because nobody likes me. Do you remember this? Ha! This is the garter chevron garter stuff blanket. It's a pattern by Minna Philip. She made a really cute little blanket for her nephew, I think, and Layla, her own little baby. If you don't know, you know Mina. It's quite funny that her baby is 1 year old. I started watching her when she was pregnant. It feels weird. It must feel really weird for her. And yeah, so she released this blanket pattern, and I adapted it to make it an adult size blanket, which will be a gift. And I haven't shown it to you in a while, so I just wanted to show you that I am still working on it, I promise. Slow as hell. If you remember, I did the first... So, I'm using 5 colors. Burying myself. Beige, black, white, copper, and grey. I did the first repeat of this in maybe 3 weeks. Zooming through it. And yeah, I think we're all a bit like that when you start a blanket. Really into it. And then it's just, oh my god, it's a blanket. It takes forever. So yeah, I did the first repeat in 3 weeks. And now it's been more than 2 months, and I only did 1 repeat and just started the 3rd one, which will be the last. This will measure about 180 centimeters wide. And if I make 3 repeats of the 5 colors sequence, it will be about 170, I think. So it will be almost a square, which I think is cool for a lap blanket. And yeah, I'm using acrylic yarn because it's a gift, and I have a bad tendency to gift wool to people because I don't mind if they ruin it. Yeah, that's the thing. I think people, when I give them handmade thing, they're all like, oh my god, it's such a big thing. Like, it's not. I mean, just let me knit you 10,000 things. I don't care if you wear them or if you ruin them. Well, I care, it's just that, it's not that much of a deal. I can make new things. But these are people that I'm not super close with yet, I guess. So I don't want them to have something that they can't do anything about, especially a blanket. I mean, a wool blanket. I did it once, I don't know why, because that was a really bad idea. Even for me, I don't want it. So, yeah. This will go through the machine, through the dryer, through whatever. And it will be easy to care for. You see my bunny? My progress keeper that I'm moving bits by bits. So I just have one repeat left of the 5 colors. Yeah. This is like a decay weight. It's Charly by Phildar. It's a French brand, and it's 100% acrylic, and it has a really good range of colors. So for a blanket, I think it's nice. It's drapey, it's pretty soft, it's not squeaky. You know, when acrylic does like that plasticky feeling. It's really warm. It's really warm though. Yeah, acrylic is not breathable at all. I could have 10 of these on me and be okay, but this on my lap just makes me... Because I'm not a cold person, but they are. They're Romanian friends, and I feel like all of Romania is really feeling the cold harshly. And I was there at Christmas, and everybody was shaking, and oh my god, it's so freaking cold. And I was here from the south of France, and like, but that, no, it's not. It's not even under 0 degrees. It's fine. Just chill. But yeah, they're really. How do you say when someone is always feeling cold? Do you have a word in English? You probably do. I don't remember it. We say frileux in French. Frileux or frileuse. It means that you're like always feeling the cold, which I am not. I'm, on the contrary, getting hot really easily. But my hands and feet are always very cold to the touch. And I don't feel it. Which makes me weird, I think. This is kind of burdening me, to be honest. So yeah, I need to focus on it. I need to watch a lot of movies. I've watched The Shape of Water, which I really liked, because it's my kind of thing. But if you like green, watch that movie. It's so green. Anyway, that's it for the blanket, and I have one last work in progress to show you, and it's my Zweig sweater, which is a pattern from Caitlin Hunter that everybody knows about, so why do I bother? But that's where I am. If you remember, last time I just started the lace, and I was a bit not liking it so much. So when I finished my susu, which was indeed, I think, what was kind of putting me in a meh mood. Well, I just did the lace like yesterday. In 4 or 5 hours, I just blip. The lace is done. It actually looks quite nice on the screen now. You can actually see the shaping of it. I was trying to show my boyfriend yesterday through Skype, and it wasn't working that well. But look, Marius, that's how it looks like. Marius and everybody. It's lace. So, I started the second colorwork bits, which have the stripy effect. And then I will separate for the sleeves and be able to try it on. I'm knitting the small size, which I hope will give me the ease that I want. Because I want it to have ease, but I fear that the medium size will make it too much. So I choose to do the small one, and I'm using Superwash Merino. The chocolate brown is yarn that I dyed myself. It's darker than this. Yeah, it's like this. And the contrast color is Knit knit cosmic strings in the marshmallow colorway. Just this beautiful creamy pinkish base with pink, neon pink, purple, and a little bit of orangey speckly thing. And I'm really happy with the combination. I think it's going to look very efficient, just like I wanted, just like I think the sweater needs. And yes, the lace shows up quite well in this color, and it's not blocked yet. You know, it's lace, it's not block. I have now 320 stitches on the needles, so I think I'm good, because it's going to spread while blocking and be really comfortable and soft, and a really nice spring jumper, I think. I like how it looks now. I'm much more enthusiastic about it, just like I wanted to. And I think it's going to make a really fun knit, and that's how it is. Couldn't memorize the lace for the life of... Well, it's not a repetitive lace anyway, so you really need to look at whatever you're doing. But it didn't go that long. I started yesterday, I was on row 12, and there's like 35 rows, and I just did everything in, like I said, maybe 3-4 hours. Can you hear my puppy snoring? I hope not. But yeah, it's fine. I need to finish the color work and try it on to not be scared anymore. That's it for knitting, and yeah, have some weaving to share. I have been working quite slowly but efficiently, I hope, on my hand-woven wrap that I'm making out of all the hand-dyed fingering weight scraps. And yeah, I've done quite a bit of fabric here, and I have to roll it some more, but I didn't, just so that I could show you the colors I've just incorporated. At the bottom here there is some hedgehogs. Let me try to hedgehog singles. I think this is Heyday. This is, oh, I think this is Marianne C yarn in the Cabernet. I think it's Cabaret Cabernet. I don't remember. I think it's Cabernet. And I wanted to say the wine name, but anyway, it's the wine color. This is the Phildar yarn. There's scraps of stuff. This is the Windflower colorways by Yarn Baby, which, if you remember, I put in my Hour Roll socks that I showed you last week. This was part of a gradient set from Snail Yarn, which is an indie dyer from Italy. Probably the first hand-dyed yarn I bought. This is Reef Dive by Stranded Dye Work, and this is a one-of-a-kind singles by Black Elephant Petra. Yeah, need to roll that thing and keep going. I don't know how much more I have. I think a lot. But I do have a lot of scraps left, so the more the better. And yeah, if you remember last time I talked about my silly tension issues. Basically, warping the loom didn't go really well, so I just made a mess. And now I have quite some uneven bits, especially to this side, which makes the weave really wavy. But it's not to a point that I think it will look weird once it's off the loom and washed. So far, I think washing will even things out still. So I'm okay with that. If it starts being way too bad, well, I don't know what I will do, but yeah, certainly not keep doing it. Yeah. On the one hand, I'm looking forward to finishing it, because I think it's going to look really cool and crazy, but On the other hand, I'm going to have so many ends to weaving that it's not going to be fun. Yeah, I like weaving my ends at the back of woven fabric because all the other techniques I found left holes or bulges. So yeah, I hope I didn't make a mistake and it's not going to be that much of a nightmare. It's okay, in front of a movie I can weave in ends. I realized that I'm never being very technical with the weaving. It's because, well, with that weaving in particular. I'm gonna put that back here so you can see it, but you can also see me and I don't look stupid. I'm not very experienced nor knowledgeable about rigid headed loom weaving and any type of big loom weaving. Yeah, I know more about tapestry weaving, but this I basically know how to work my loom and that's about it. But I can tell you that what I have is a 10 dents per inch heddle, so it's good for fingering to decay weight. I can even put some more stitch through it and it's fine. Yes, just making a simple plain weave on it, and it's looking very colorful and very crazy. Weaving goes quite fast, faster than knitting to be honest, but it's yeah, it's just really repetitive. So I'm not finding the perfect environment to be zooming through it yet. But the little bits that I've been doing on it have been quite relaxing and fun because of all the colors combinations that I'm trying to make up. So yeah, that's it for the making content of this episode. I have 2 more little segments to share with you. They have new names and they're neater and clearer. So I think that, like a lot of people, I really like craft books. Not only knitting, that's the thing. I would just get any books that related to crafts, gardening, cooking, and I really like it. So they're well made. And it goes on to magazines. I don't own a lot of knitting magazines because they pile up. And I tend to get one only when I know I will knit almost all of the patterns in there. Just a cost related thing, I think. And one magazine that I actually bought without even knowing all of the patterns in it is the latest issue of Len magazine. I'm saying Len because I'm French, and because I'm not sure that Line is the correct Finnish pronunciation. It means wave in Finnish and Estonian, I think. Line, if any Finnish people here can help. Yeah, I think it's just a really clever play on the words here. And I don't know, I feel like wave is a good mood for this magazine. Line is the new hugge, I'm calling it. But yes, I actually saw one pattern in it on their Instagram, and I pre-ordered it without even knowing the other ones. And I don't know if I got lucky or if it means that they really aren't my thing, because I really like all the patterns that they have selected for this issue. And yeah, Len magazine is a really good knitting magazine, I feel. A lot of people have been saying that their photographs aren't really good from a knitting point of view. which I understand. You know, they have a really specific aesthetic, and yeah, you won't see your typical front picture on a blurred background, like really catalog, old-fashioned knitting kind of picture that have the advantage of really showing you how the piece, the garment is. Oddly enough, I never really want to knit them when they're on those pictures. I don't know why, they always look old kind of thing. But yeah, Len magazine has a stronger, modern, very Nordic, very precise mood to their picture, and I feel like their intention is more to send a mood, and then if you are curious about the pattern, which the picture is doing for me, when the picture conveys a certain atmosphere, well, I'm gonna be curious. I'm always curious anyway, and I browse Ravelry projects a lot, and I look at a lot of patterns, even if I think that the first picture that I see is not necessarily something I will enjoy, but I still dig further, and I don't know, that's how I work. And yeah, I think I would be quite sad if I would stop at a first impression and completely reject something because of it. However, I feel like in that issue, they've gone into a better compromise, so to say. If you look at the garment pictures, they show much better how the garment fit, how it falls, all the details, and so while still conveying that really specific Len brand kind of thing. So I think the people that had some problems with it, they will appreciate that, because look, this is pretty standard, and you can see, okay, it's a fitted cardigan, you can see the lace feature at the front. Yeah, it's pretty good. And then you have more these moody type of pictures that are really cool. Yeah, so I think if you had a problem with Len magazine not showing knitwear properly, I think this issue is a step forward for you. And yeah, I know other people didn't like that there was so many ads in it. Personally, if I can have ads like this, I don't mind. It's not like I bought an interweave issue, a PDF, an ebook issue of interweave, because there was a lot of patterns in it that I liked, despite the catalog plain pictures. And there's ads, and there's an ad on it that made me laugh that I saw yesterday. It's an ad for a flip phone. I just find it funny. It's really targeted at older audience than me, obviously. But you know, it's a knitting publication. Why do I need an ad on flip phones? So at least the ads in Len magazine are knitting related, and they're all very precise in their aesthetic. I mean, this is wool folk, you know. Yeah. But anyway, more about the content now that I've talked at length about surrounding of it. The patterns in it, I really like them. I'll talk to them in a bit. I'll talk about them in a bit to them. I'm talking to the patterns. The girl who whispered at the ear of the patterns. That was too long. Yes. There are recipes as usual. Really nice cinnamon rolls. I do a lot of cinnamon rolls anyway. And I will try that recipe for sure, because it has cardamom in the dough, which I never did, and is apparently something typical from the Finnish cinnamon roll point of view. I already do Scandinavian cinnamon rolls, not the sugary filled Starbucks kind of thing. Those I don't like. But yeah, and they have a city guide on Paris, which fair enough. I don't like Paris. Yeah. Which gives a few nice addresses, obviously yarn shop and food wise. Even though it's never ending to look for restaurants in Paris. That's the one massive advantage of Paris, I feel. The food options. And contrary to what you might think, they're extremely affordable. In Paris, you can eat at restaurants. You just can't afford groceries and an apartment. But you can eat. You can eat just fine. Yeah, it's the variety of things. Obviously, the Asian vibe is really present and really strong and more authentic. Well, more and more. It's been really authentic for years now, and you have neighborhoods where just that the restaurants are real Asian food, real Italian food, real Middle Orient food. It's the only reason why I would bring my boyfriend to visit Paris is to move him from restaurant to restaurants. Basically, that's how I would do it. But yeah, if you're visiting Paris, Len has some nice addresses for food and yarn shopping. And of course, really good interviews with La Bien-Aimée. Aimée. Okay, there's no E. Aimée. It's confusing because there's two E's at the end, but it's not making an E sound in French. I just reminded myself of Grace from Babel's Traveling Podcast, who taught us how to say Donegal. Did I do it right? But yeah, it's La Bien-Aimée. It's not ami, which means friend, but it's not that. Aimé means loved, and it's a name. It's a first name. So it's La Bien-Aimée. There's an interview with Jared Flood, which was amazing, and from Brooklyn Tweed, obviously. And yeah, so content-wise, it's really nice as usual, but the core is the patterns. So now that I've rented on Paris for no reason, let me go through the patterns in the book, and I really like them. There's maybe one garment that I wouldn't do, and it's this one. It's the Lakeland, which I find pretty. I find it quite pretty. It's just not my type of style, the rolled neck thing. But all the other ones I really like. So I've already showed you the Kate cardigan that I am making. Already started. And I'm not showing you because it's the project focus that I'm making. It's the Kate cardigan. And this is the pattern that made me pre-order the magazine, because I need a fitted, classy cardigan, and this is perfect. I also, of course, there's the Magnolia sweater, which has the lace at the bottom, and that a lot of people are really liking, and I do too. I like it too. It's really nice. Not in my immediate view, but it is nice too. The other pattern that I love and that I really want to make, and that I really need not to buy the yarn because really I can wait, is Black Ice. And yeah, it's a brioche sweater. I think it looks like brioche. Or is it fisherman's? Or it's the same thing anyway. It is a brioche. And yeah. Well, it's a double page, but you can see. And I do want to make it in black because I don't have many black garments. I have dresses, black dress, but I do like wearing black from time to time, and I feel like if there's one thing that I can knit in black, it's brioche, because which is kind of contradicting because you need to see what you're doing in brioche in case you're interrupted. But at least it will give the fabric enough interest to me for me to be able to knit in black or a dark charcoal grey. It's lace and mohair held double. So yeah, I think I'll get some nice yarn for it. Either, maybe not pitch black, but at least very, very dark grey. And I think it looks really good. I like the canion's yoke as well, even though I do have too much worsted weight sweaters already. If anyone wants to gift me a sweaters quantity of Brooklyn Tweed Shelter, I'm not saying no, just that it's not my my main idea right now. So yes, enough rambling. Len Magazine issue 4, I really like it. I feel like if you were a bit disappointed with the pictures and the format, yeah, with the envelope of the previous issue, you will find that this makes a step in your direction. The patterns are great. I also really like that they focus on garments. I don't know if it's intended, but if it is, it's great. And yeah, content is cool. Go to Paris to eat. Make Scandinavian cinnamon rolls. It's the return of the yarn show segment. Which is not really an acquisition segment, just I chose to show you some bits that I have. And what I want to show you this week is these. This is my first mole. I'm sorry, I tried to Google how to say it. Let's just say that the Google voice for Welsh is as good as the Romanian one. That is not very. Google Chinese in Japanese is very good. Like, the voice feels good, but when they don't have an actual dedicated translation service, I think it makes that really weird robotic voice when you want to listen to a pronunciation through Google Translate, and and I couldn't read I know a few phonetics symbol, but I couldn't read those. I don't know. Moil. I'm sorry. Do tell me if you can. But yeah, Moil View Yarn, which is the Welsh hand in the dyer, which dye their yarn naturally and using a really pretty basis. That looks so nice. I like coral. I don't have a lot of it, but I do like coral, and it did my eyes just mess it up today with the makeup. But if I really stretch my eyes and you can't see the makeup, yeah, okay. Yes, so this is their Falkland Merino base, 100% British Falkland Merino, which is super soft. Merino, it's a really... Falkland has the advantages of being super soft merino, but it's not slick. This is non-superwash, which helps as well, making it a really... Ooh, sorry, sun. Making it a really nice, fluffy, plump, lovely yarn. It's a 2-ply, I think. Yes, it's a 2-ply. Not too tightly plied, but it's quite nice. And it's dyed with madder, which is a root that gives kind of pinkish, reddish, rusty shades. And so I'm guessing this is a late bath, which made this really nice, soft, pinkish orange, orangey coral color. Yeah, I'm really happy with it. So I have a sweater's quantity. Yes, I already know what sweater I'm going to make with it. I'm going to make the Let It Fall sweater. I'm so sorry, I didn't look at the designer's name, but I'll pop in a picture here, which has a lace. It's a boxy sweater with a lace panel, and I really like it. And I think this type of color on me needs lace, because it will make a really flowy, summery garment. And I just really like it. It's soft, and the color depth on it is really interesting. Like, you have bits here that are tiny bit more saturated. I really like naturally dyed yarns. It's fun to do. I did it a bit myself to experiment, but you kind of, yeah, it's a huge process. And yeah, sometimes in the near future I want to try it again, because I have some madder myself, and I would like to try and see if I can get a more saturated type of madder dyed yarn. Yeah, I have some logwood, of course, that does a really bright, big, deep purple. But yeah, I admire people who do it so much, and I know a few. And I really want to get more naturally dyed yarn, because I think it's just so interesting, and it looks very different than an acid dyed yarn. Both are interesting, but I feel like this gives a yarn that is so deep and that is just changing. No matter how I look at it, it never looks the same color. Sometimes it just looks beige, sometimes it looks really orange, and sometimes it looks like a really nice blend of coral. Yeah. So that's the yarn I wanted to show you for my yarn show. And yeah, it's my first small view yarn. I really like it. I'm happy because I've been eyeing their work for a long time, and it's really nice. I think that's it for this week's episode. It was a bit rambly. Starting to get a headache. It's linked to my having an ear infection. That's what I have, and it's annoying. But yes, I hope you enjoyed, despite my kind of weird mood. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. There will be another episode next week with hopefully a couple of new projects, because I only have 2 knitting work in progress actually. Well, because I'm not counting the project focus one that I can't show you on the podcast. Have a lovely day, night, and week, and I will see you next time. Bye!